until Craig's eldest brother Connor married Laurel. One year, Laurel decided to join the men, having failed to understand that the ritual was for men and only men. Connor, still not quite savvy to Laurel's ability to twist almost any situation to her design, tried to explain that women were not physically able to compete. That night, the McTiernay men learned many things. McTiernay women were not nearly as sweet and fragile as they looked, and underestimating Laurel could be perilous to a man's pride. Laurel had quickly challenged the men participating in the dance, stating that Highland women played the game of endurance every day by cooking, cleaning, and raising their young, and then she proved it, forcing the tradition to evolve again. Now the battle was between men and women to prove which group had more stamina, a custom that had made its way to the Schellden clan last year, when Rayland and Meriel spent several weeks visiting the McTiernay home. A fact Craig deeply regretted forgetting tonight when he had entered the Schellden Great Hall after successfully winning a game of horseshoes. Seeing the broadswords had been laid out, he had eagerly joined the growing number of people participating. Having felt the humiliation created by Laurel's first and surprisingly successful attempt at the dance, Craig had vowed never to be outlasted by a woman again, and he hadn't. When the song ended, he was always among the few men who were still on their feet. Tonight, however, the goal had changed significantly, unbeknownst to him. "Just do it already," Meriel hissed, recapturing his attention. She had somehow moved to stand right in front of him. She was far from short, but she still had to crane her neck to look at him when standing this close. "And make it really good, so that when it doesn't work, all questions about us will be silenced, not for tonight, but forever." Craig's eyes widened at the notion, for he had originally planned to give her only a quick brotherly peck, but Meriel's idea was a rather brilliant one, and what could it hurt? It was not as if they really did like each other and feared the emotional sparks a genuine kiss might cause. They were just friends. Aye, he had thought about kissing her over the past year. Slim and delicate-looking, Meriel was a beautiful woman. But he had always known that the moment their relationship became anything more, the things he cherished the most, her friendship and honesty, qualities that made her so important to him, would be in jeopardy. Besides, desire was not prompting their current situation. So maybe he wasn't caught in a trap. Perhaps he and Meriel had been handed an opportunity to finally lay persistent rumors to rest, not to mention that he had heard from more than one source that Meriel, while not free with her body, was an excellent kisser. As her best friend, was it not time he found out? Meriel felt her jaw drop when she heard her sister Rayland announce that the last woman and man standing would be rewarded with a kiss from each other. Now that she was married, Rayland had a penchant for seeing love everywhere, and tonight their father, who had cosseted them as children, had indulged another of her sister's whims. Meriel knew she should have deserted the dance right then, but she had still believed Craig to be in the courtyard playing horseshoes. Moreover, it had been some time since she had been kissed, and the idea of possibly meeting someone new to pass the time with was more than a little appealing. Then she saw both women and men dropping out, feigning exhaustion at an alarming rate. The reason why dawned on her just as the second-to-last woman ended her supposed attempt. Meriel immediately halted, but it was too late. She was already the last woman standing. Her eyes scanned the few men still competing and spotted Craig near the back, grinning his irresistible smile at the crowd, completely clueless. Mentally, she implored him to look her way so that she could give him a signal to stop and prevent her sister's attempt at matchmaking, but to no avail. Nearly everyone else in the room was staring in her direction, but Craig, no. He was too busy applauding himself for his stamina. Only when the song ended and people clapped him on his back with congratulations, explaining once again the nature of the award, did his expression reflect one of true understanding. Meriel watched as Craig briefly studied her and then shifted his gaze to the real culprit, her sister. However, Meriel suspected that Laurel might also have been involved. Rayland was more than capable of coming up with such an idea.